Lesson 31. Wales and the Welsh. Extracts from Jan's diary. What a beautiful country Wales is, and how interesting its people are. We have been here nearly a fortnight now, and Mr. Evans has taken us, on foot or in his car, round this countryside which he knows like the back of his hand and loves more than he can ever love any place outside heaven. In fact, I shouldn't be surprised if, when he gets to heaven, he thinks that Wales was practically as good. He and his father and his grandfather, and I don't know how many other generations, have always lived in this little village in North Wales, and he knows every man, woman, and child for miles around. In fact, it almost seems as if everyone in the village is named either Evans or Jones or Hughes, which can lead to some difficulty if you ask for Mr. Jones's house. Even if you ask, for example, for John Jones, it is almost as bad, for there are probably half a dozen of them. The Welsh people get over this quite well. They don't say just Mr. Jones, they say Jones the milk, that is the Jones who sells milk, or Jones the post, that's Jones the postman, or Jones the bank. So our Mr. Evans, being the schoolmaster of the village, is Evans the school. But you see, said Mr. Evans, it's quite natural that you have all these Evanses here, we are all related. No one has a deeper love of his home and family than the Welshman, and he doesn't generally go far away from his home. The Englishman has spread his empire to the four corners of the earth. There are probably as many Scotsmen in Canada as there are in Edinburgh, there are more Irishmen in New York than in the whole of Ireland. But the Welshman has never been an empire builder, in fact, he hasn't been able even to unite his own country. You've probably noticed that until a month or so ago there was no capital of Wales, as London is the capital of England, Edinburgh of Scotland, Paris of France. Throughout its whole history, Wales has always preferred to live in small groupings. The Romans built cities in England and Wales, the English built great castles, and towns grew round them. But the Welsh would have nothing to do with Roman city or English town. The Welsh are countrymen, not townsmen. The family is the centre of Welsh life. This village, like any village here, is just an extended family, and so, as I said, naturally you get a lot of Evanses there. You may have heard Welshman, perhaps in London, he continued singing Land of my fathers. Till life is past, my love shall last. My longing, my heareth for Wales. Land of my fathers. I can't give you the English for heareth, there isn't any English word for it. But it expresses the deep, passionate homesickness that the Welshman feels for his home. It isn't for Wales, in spite of all that our nationalists may say, it is for some small part of Wales, a tiny village, a valley, a hillside where his family live. For that he would give his life, that is home and Wales to him. The love that he has for that could never be beaten down by Roman or Saxon or Englishman. Until you realize that, I don't think you can understand the character of the Welsh and the spirit of Wales. That was what made us fight against the English, not because we ever wanted to conquer England, but because we wanted to keep our homes free, our religion free, and to keep the Welsh way of life. That is why the story of King Arthur is a living story with us. When the light of Christianity that the Romans had brought to England was put out by the heathen Saxons who invaded the country, it was Arthur who battled against them, and it was the Welsh who kept Christianity alive in these islands. Have you noticed, I am sure you must have done, the number of Welsh place names that begin with Llan, Llanberis, Llandudno, Llangollen, Llanfair? There are hundreds of them in Wales? Well, in those dark days of the early Saxon occupation of England, Christianity still lived on among the Welsh, and specially chosen men, the first Celtic saints, went from place to place teaching the Christian faith, preaching, organizing little groups of believers, and starting centers of worship. These centers were called Llans. The word is generally translated church, and the Llans often took the name of the saint who started them or some other holy name. For example, Llandudno was the Llan started by St. Tudno, Llandwi was the Llan of St. Dewey, David, Lan fair was the Lan of fair, Mary. Everyone knows the story of how Christianity was brought to England by St. Augustine. It's quite a good story, as English stories go, though not to be compared with the Welsh ones. But not so many people realize that there was a cathedral in Wales, the Cathedral of St. David, that was built in AD 550, 47 years before St. Augustine came to Canterbury. And the Welsh are still, as they always were, a deeply religious people. I hardly needed to be told that. Every village seems to have 2 or 3 chapels, usually extremely ugly buildings, and on Sunday a great silence falls over the village. No shops are open, no work is done, no games are played. The men that I had seen during the week in rough working clothes come out now dressed in formal black with white collars to go to the chapel. The chapels are crowded and the whole congregation is a choir, for these Welsh people can certainly sing. The sermon, listened to by a deeply interested and highly critical congregation, lasts an hour. "I know you think our chapels are ugly," said Mr. Evans, voicing my unspoken thoughts, "but for us Welsh a church is above all else a place for worship, not an exercise in beautiful architecture. Besides, the Welsh have always been a poor people and could never afford magnificent churches. But it is in those chapels that our religion, our Welsh language and all the things that make us proud to be Welshmen have been kept alive. Oh yes, they are a great people." Exercises. Exercise 1. Use the following words and phrases in sentences. Like the back of his hand, organize. Heaven, holy. Generations, not to be compared with. Natural, realize. Empire, cathedral. Unite, religious. Throughout its history, congregation. Have nothing to do with, ugly. Passionate, formal. Occupation, critical. Exercise 2. Answer these questions. 1. There are many people with the same name in a Welsh village. How do the Welsh get over this difficulty? 2. Why haven't many Welshmen gone abroad? 3. What is the English for A. Lan, B. Hiraeth? 4. Why are Welsh chapels often ugly? 5. Why was Mr. Evans not worried by the ugliness of some of the chapels? 6. How long does the sermon usually last? 7. How does Mr. Evans earn his living? What is he called by his neighbors? Exercise 3. Choose the correct word from these in brackets. 1. We have, b, been, are, here nearly a, fortnight, 2 weeks. 2. Nearly, all, everyone, every, in the village seems to be, either, neither, both, Evans or Jones or Hughes. 3. There are probably as, much, more, many, Scotsmen in Canada, than, as, also, there are in Edinburgh. 4. All Welshmen have a, good, deep, high, love for, his, their, home. 5. The, town, house, family, is the center of village, live, life. 6. When the Saxons, fought, invaded, the land, it was the Welsh, who, by whom, whose, kept Christianity alive. 7. Frida and Jan, can't, hadn't, didn't, know the story, of, to, on, St. Augustine. 8. The Welsh, never, often, still, are a deeply religious people. 9. Jan would like to, go, visit, journey, Wales, again, ever. 10. I think he, would, will, like Frida to go, from, with, of, him also. Exercise 4. Using the phrases given and adding words of your own, make the following into complete sentences. 1. Jan found, beautiful country, interesting people. 2. Many trips, on foot, the countryside. 3. Don't often leave, because, their homes, Everything else. 4. What made us fight, to conquer, homes free. 5. Quite, good story, as English stories, not to be compared. 6. How much, 1 pound, tomatoes, window. 7. Large crowds, at the station, the Queen. 8. Those sandwiches, restaurant, expensive. 9. Hob, oughtn't, chocolates. 10. Run, post office, telegram. Exercise 5. Give short questions to which the following are answers. 1. Yes, you may. 2. It costs 4 and 6. 3. At 6 o'clock. 4. No, they don't. 5. I left it on the table. 6. Very well, thank you. 7. No, I can't. 8. Very much, thank you. 9. I hope to go tomorrow. 10. I feel much better today. 11. Only one of your sentences is right. 12. It's made of nylon. 13. We hope to go to Italy. 14. Yes, he must. 15. No, we haven't. 16. It's raining hard. 17. But, I have tidied my room. 18. He's a schoolmaster. 19. And so have I. 20. No sugar, thank you. Composition exercises. 1. Describe how your religion first came to your country. 2. Why are the Welsh not great empire builders? 3. Read again the passage on pages 241 and 243 marked A, B, and then write a précis of it in about 200 words. Dear friends, thank you for watching our channel and learning English with us. Subscribe. And we wish you great luck in achieving your goals.